Yo guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm about to round number 4 of my F1 2017 career mode at the Russian Grand Prix. And this is a track that I absolutely hate. I'm really not a fan of this track. So yeah, I wasn't expecting anything coming into this race. I can see getting on with the practice sessions, and that is one of the reasons why I hate this track. During the track acclimatization, going straight on and breaking our wings, so that set us back a good at least 10 minutes in qualifying, as he had to fix the car. But for some reason it doesn't take 10 seconds like it does in the pit stop. But anyway, going through all the practice programs, here is the tyre wear test, I think, and relatively straightforward as always. We actually didn't do many practice sessions just because my engine parts are really temperamental at this stage of the season, which is very concerning very early on. But yeah, that was a very quick rundown of what happened in practice. Now we are on board with myself for my fastest qualifying lap. So yeah, I think at this stage the majority of my engine parts were around about 50%, maybe some of them were 60. I know the IC was at 60. So I was a bit down on power just in general throughout this weekend, but heading through turn 2, clipping the apex nicely, and we don't run wide on the exit, which is actually quite easy to do if you miss your braking point. Coming around turn 3 now, you can see the checker flag is out, and yeah, you'll actually notice in the top left we've actually made it through to Q3, so we'll have a top 10 start no matter where we qualify, because there won't be any penalties for us. And that kind of took the pressure off ever so slightly. I knew I was going to start in the top 10 no matter what. I had beaten my teammate at this stage, so I could literally just go out, complete a lap, and I was expecting 10th place. I wasn't expecting to beat anyone else. It was a very strong lap in Q2, and I didn't think I was going to beat that. I think I was 2 seconds off the pace, or around about the entirety of this race weekend, so I was just surprised to get through to Q3. DRS open as we head down to turns 10 and 11. Hopefully we get the braking point spot on this time. And it looks like we're going to clip the apex nicely. We actually do run a little bit wide, but not as wide as we did in practice. Now coming through the tight and twisty section of the circuit, a section of the track that I really do hate. Missing the apex ever so slightly and running wide out of that corner, and clipping the apex, we managed to recover it. On the exit of the following corner, heading down to the penultimate corner now, getting the braking point, clipping the apex, and I think we did actually cut that. We're coming to the final corner now, clipping the apex nicely, up to the line, and it is going to be P10 for us. We did kind of expect to get P10, I wasn't expecting anything more. But anyway, that is our fastest qualifying lap. Now let's have a look at the starting grid. So here is the starting grid for Russian Grand Prix. We've got Sebastian Vettel starting on pole once again, with Hamilton next to him, and both their teammates following on the second row. The Red Bulls lock out of the third row, with Massa and Perez following them on the fourth row. Roman Grosjean and myself make up the top 10, with Ocon and Stroll starting in 11th and 12th. Magnussen and Kvyat will start on the next row, followed by Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz all the way down in 15th place, with Fernando Alonso, Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson and Stoff van Dorn actually starting last for this race for the first time this season. But that is the starting grid for Russian Grand Prix. Let's go to the race. So here we go for the Russian Grand Prix. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. And it's not been a very good start at all for us. We get wheel spin off the line. And we've got Ocon on our outside, and it looks like he's going to take position straight away. We've also got Stroll going around our outside, and we're down to 12th as we come out of turn number 1. We've got the inside line for turn number 2, so we're going to try and make a move up the inside of some of these guys and get some positions back. They're 3 wide through turn 2, and I think that was Perez, it was Ocon, sorry, who really didn't get a good run, and we take back 10th place. But already you can see the cars ahead of me pulling away massively, and I don't know whether it's because of my engine parts or just because of the car in general, but I don't feel we're going to have the pace to catch them. Make a very audacious dive bomb at the inside of Verstappen. Luckily we don't hit the back of him. I don't really know what I was going for there, but coming through sector 2, this is where I was the weakest, running wide pretty much every single corner, and you'll see just how much time I lose. Obviously the Red Bull is quicker through the corners, and that really showed, missing the apex by about a mile there as we come onto the second straight. We've got Ocon behind us now, and with that Mercedes powered Force India, I don't think I'm going to be able to hold him back for much longer. Once he gets DRS, he'll most likely breeze past us down the straight, but for now we hold him back. And you can see there is a train ahead of me, and we are slowly catching in the braking zones, but once we get onto the straights and through Sector 2, we just lose so much time. You can actually see through Sector 3, we're now right into the back of Verstappen, but on the exits of corners, with the power unit, we can't make any gains on them at all. You'll see down this straight, we're just going to lose so much time. And despite only being on lap 2, it's looking like we're just going to fall down the field for the rest of this race. We just did not have the pace to compete with anyone around us, really. I don't know how we got P10 in qualifying. But those are my engine components. You can see only 2 of them are in the green, and I think that's why I was just so slow around this track. We've got Stroll behind us and missing the braking point completely into turn number 11. Luckily, we hold him back, but not for much longer. We're not going to be able to beat this Williams this race, and yeah, like I said, once he gets DRS, he will easily get past us, I'm sure of it. On to lap number 3 now. You can see we've stayed relatively close to Verstappen. He is actually stuck in traffic, but we run wide out of that corner and almost lose the back end. Luckily we managed to keep it out of the wall. But yeah, I don't know if it was something wrong with my setup, but the car was just very, very awkward to drive and very slippery. We managed to get DRS on Verstappen, so that's going to assist us down the straight ever so slightly. And we weren't really under pressure too much from Stroll at this point. I feel like he was battling Ocon a little bit, closing so much under the braking zone, and that's the only place, only way we were quicker than all the other cars is braking points. Getting held up by Verstappen through Sector 3. But once you get onto the straight and through the fast corners, we didn't have any answer to the cars around us. We might be able to challenge Verstappen down the straight if we can get a good exit out of the final corner. Obviously we will have DRS. Trying to get his best exit out of the final corner as possible, but you can see just on the exit of the corners he is just gone even before we make it to turn number 1. But as we come through turn number 3, you've got Verstappen really getting stuck behind Grosjean there. Grosjean locks up into turn number 4. We just make it through on the inside, and that is a position for us up into P number 9. I'm sure now Verstappen will just fly away with that P number 8 position, and there you go. You can see the gap already on lap number 4. But now we're being attacked by Grosjean. He's going to have DRS down the straight, and I think he's going to go to the outside line for turn number 11. We're going to try and hold it up the inside. He leaves us the room, luckily. Clipping the apex. We're side by side as we come through turn number 12. Outside line for 12. We carry the momentum around the outside. We hold him off for now, but you can see just how quick he is in a straight line. It's going to be very challenging down towards turn number 2. I don't think the Haas is actually that quick through the corner, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage. We've managed to fend him off for another lap as we come through Sector 3. Once again, you can see Verstappen has hit traffic again. But on the exit of turn 13, I think that is, we lose back in once again. And the exit of turn 14, almost put it in the barrier once again. The rear, I just could not get the rear under control on the exit of corners. And that just lost us a heap of time. Now on to lap 6, under pressure from Grosjean once again, heading down to turn number 6. Running wide, clipping the curb and hitting the barrier this time. Losing the position to Grosjean and Stroll. Luckily, we don't have any front wing damage, but you can just see how much I'm struggling with this car. Could not get it under control throughout the entirety of this race. On the plus side though, we will have slipstream from Lance Stroll down the straight, so we will actually be able to see just how much time we lose with our worn engine components. On the exit of the final corner, we're going to have DRS to help us. I don't know if we're going to close up, but without DRS, Stroll is just absolutely gone, so it's definitely our engine components that are costing us time. We're now under pressure from Ocon down towards turn number 2. Is he going to go to the inside line? He decides against it, very light on the brakes from us. And like I said, that's the only place we were gaining time. Everywhere else, we were just losing so much time. Through turn 3 we go, got Ocon right behind us, and he's actually very quick in the corners. Heading down to turn number 4. Luckily, he doesn't challenge us. Ocon is looking to the inside line for turn number 5. And just as we turn in, he sticks his nose in and spins us around on the exit. We don't have any damage, luckily, but you can see just how much time we've lost. We've actually take out, I think that was our teammate, had to rejoin onto the track. We quite rightfully get a 5-second penalty. Hulkenberg's out of the race, and we take out another car as we rejoin once again. So, complete carnage on the exit of turn number 5. A broken wing for us and a 5-second penalty right to the back of the field. And that was pretty much our race over. You can see those two cars are retired. thanks to, well, it was completely my fault. I just rejoined the track and didn't look. But we come into the pit to serve our penalty and fix our front wing, and I was seriously considering retiring just to save the engine components, because at some races you just need to give up and save the engine components, otherwise you're not going to make it. You're just going to take penalties at the very end of the season. But I decided to go out again, give it one more lap, see if there was a safety car to bring me back in it. I put on a soft tyre so I would be able to go to the end, and I decided to just complete one more lap. If there wasn't a safety car, I would retire. You can see I actually had problems for some reason with the pit exit. I knew I didn't have the pace to catch the field no matter how hard I pushed, so if there wasn't a safety car, there was literally no point in me staying out, and unfortunately there wasn't. So at the end of the next lap, we come into the pit to retire the car, and unfortunately that is our race for the Russian Grand Prix. Even if we hadn't had that incident, I don't think we had the pace to stay in the points, so I wasn't too angry. I knew in the future it would help me with the engine components. But we put into our pit box and we retire from the session, so unfortunately it's going to be a double retirement for the Renault team. And yeah, that is unfortunately the end of my Russian Grand Prix.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So there you go guys, those are the race results. Hamilton takes the win, making it 2 wins each for Vettel and Hamilton. Raikkonen and Bottas make up the rest of the podium, with Vettel fourth, 2 Red Bulls following, followed by Massa, Stroll, Perez and Grosjean taking the final point for Haas. Haas once again making it in the points for the 4th race in a row. So a fantastic job by them. Now let's take a look at the drivers' standings after that race. Hamilton now leads the championship with 78 points, 8 points ahead of Vettel in second. Raikkonen and Bottas follow on 58 and 55 points, close between the two Finns. No change between the 2 Red Bulls, Verstappen and Ricciardo 5th and 6th, with myself, despite the retirement, remaining in 7th place. Massa does close the gap on us, however, with 14 points, Grosjean in 9th on 10 points, and Kevin Magnussen, keeping in the top 10, still on 9 points. Looking at the bottom half of the field, we have Perez in 11th on 8 points, Stroll gets his first points of the season in 12th, Ocon moves down to 13th, also on 4 points, and Kvyat with that sole point remains in 14th place. Finally, looking at the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes lead on 133 points, 5 points ahead of Ferrari on 128. Red Bull once again picking up solid points and are on 77 points. Haas remain in 4th place. There's actually an error with the graphics there, as Haas should be on 19 points and Williams in 5th on 18 points, so sorry about that. But Haas continue their charge for that top 4th spot in the Constructors, and at the moment it's looking very likely. They look quicker than Williams, and to be honest, they look like the 4th quickest car, consistently getting points. Renault moved down to 6th with a double DNF, with Force India still all the way down in 7th position, only on 12 points. And finally, we've got Toro Rosso on that single point from Daniel Kvyat, and McLaren and Sauber still yet to score points. Well guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, remember to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new on here. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya!